everybody, it is the Second Sister here. Welcome to episode 2 of Infodumping with my friends, aka my friends explain shit to me. I know y'all were probably expecting the Killing School campaign this week, but unfortunately my co-DM was hit with a case of royal rumbling. So...
Too much Royal Rumbles.
So instead, I have with me... That's your cue.
Hello, everybody. My name is TravisGA, and I am going to be ranting about professional wrestling.
Hey, Royal Rumbling is a wrestling thing. That oddly made for a good segue.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
before we get started, though, again, self-promote my own stuff. I stream every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I offer graphic design commissions if you would like them. All the commission information is right in front of you. Anyway, without any further ado, Travis, shall we begin?
Yes. Yes, somebody start the clock! Also, the link you have, it says it's the first episode with Timeless. The one you sent me to share around.
Whoops,
It's fine.
I did a whoopsie. I need to fix this.
Oh, hello,
really
Rico.
Fucking quick. But go ahead. While I do that, keep doing your thing.
So, pro wrestling is one of those things that it's been around for a while, in some form or fashion. I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty details of everything, because I'm not a historian. But, the basis is two men, or women, or two or more people are competing to essentially fight with a predetermined outcome. And this causes a lot of people to say that wrestling is fake. Not entirely. Yes, the people who win the matches are predetermined, but it's more of a case of... Yes, except, this isn't an entire country on the line. But...
Might as well be.
When it comes... Ironically, there has been some America versus the world kind of crap in professional wrestling, because, hey, if you're watching American Pro Wrestling, then they're going to put America first. But, it's a show of athleticism, because you'll sometimes see guys or girls, either get onto the top of a turnbuckle in order to jump off, or they'll use one of the ropes to essentially springboard into a different move. Hi, Rico. Sorry, Kitty. And
Kitty.
Wrestling is for yes. Wrestling is for people who are, fucking 7'2", north of 300 pounds, or 3 feet tall, and 100 pounds. Because there is no one style to the sport. You have incredible aerial acrobatics for lucha libre, which it comes from Mexico. You have Japanese strong style, which is we're supposed to look like we're hitting each other really hard. So why not we just literally beat the holy hell out of each other? You have what I consider the melting pot of styles in America. Where American is not just one style. It's a lot of. It's basically similar to the culture of America. It's a melting pot. You'll see some people do lucha libre action or try to go for a technical submission based offense. And certain styles work well together, others maybe not. But this is just going to be all over the place.
Just do your best.
Yeah. But it really depends on where you look. It's not just... Sorry. It's not just one style fits all. Because even in real life, you try to make everybody happy, you're not going to make anyone happy. Some people will prefer, a more ground-based, realistic wrestling of two people just beating the holy hell out of each other. And some people may prefer a more modern style of flips and flying and high-risk offense. But the reason why you don't see just one specialty in a lot of companies is because if you want to get fans, you have to cater to multiple styles. And so that means in the same show where you have a 60-minute masterpiece where two guys are just bending each other in ways that you never thought possible, you'll see probably one of the funniest things ever. Where a guy who says he's the best in sloth style, a style where you do very little, makes another guy just, look like a clown. There's a balance. And yeah, you don't always get that balance. Sometimes, a certain match may just completely blow everything else out of the water. Another time you may just see a complete dud. And to an extent that's the wrestler's fault, but it's also, sometimes shit happens and has to be called off.
Just like a certain something had to be called off today.
Yeah. And wrestling is one of those things, like, if everyone could do it, we'd all be doing it. But we can't. And so for the men and women and people who, put their bodies on the line to entertain us, to entertain wrestling fans and people who are just getting into wrestling, that's why I think people need to respect. Because, yes, the ring with the apron on, it looks like a giant trampoline. But this is one of my biggest pet peeves. A wrestling ring is nothing like a trampoline. A trampoline, the springs, they have give. The actual canvas, or whatever the term it is you jump on, I'm just going to say canvas, that also has give with the springs. In a wrestling ring, yes, you will see the ropes shake, but outside of like maybe a quarter of an inch of padding, there's wooden boards and steel frame just underneath holding that entire thing up. There is no spring. And I have gotten into a modern wrestling ring and first thing I notice, those cables are not like a nylon rope. It is a rigid steel cable wrapped in tape. And like if you like run into that, even with your back, I am untrained, and it takes the wind out of you. Like, that's not even a joke. So, and like these guys and gals are running the ropes. You know, they've obviously have been trained, but it's also a case of, you know, you're doing it in like a 20, 30, probably even an hour-long match. That gets to you. And not to mention with an opponent that's, you know, essentially almost throwing you hither and yon, or trying to slow you down and, you know, get your arm to like bend in a way that, you know, you have extreme pain, but it's not, hopefully, not going to have any lasting injuries. God, but then, you know, no matter how safe you are, shit goes wrong. And that's the only way I can say it. Shit sometimes will go wrong, and people legitimately get hurt. And I'm not talking about like, oh, it's a little like nick or a bruise. I'm talking about like, certain people have just had like broken bones, or a muscle just completely pop off the bone and need to like get rushed to the ER and get surgery for that.
Yikes.
One of the more famous examples of, and now this is a famous example of a wrestler. Now, this person did not get injured in a match.
Okay,
they were
good.
working out, and the muscle just pop off the bone. And despite that, he went out and wrestled in a match that, well, yeah, trigger warning.
I was about to ask,
But,
does this come with a trigger warning?
Yes. In 2022, Cody Rhodes was working out. He was lifting weights, and his pectoral muscle, I believe on the right side, it could have been the left, I'm not quite sure, but the pectoral muscle completely just got off the bone. Like, part of his arm and part of his chest, where the pectoral was purple. And he went in, wrestled, I believe, a 30-minute match inside of a massive steel cage where weapons were allowed. And you could see this man struggling. Like, just due to that color, no one would have said, you're less of a man, for saying, nope, I can't do it anymore, because this muscle just gone. There is almost no, like, Cody's arm was, but he did it, and I'm pretty sure his doctor nearly had a heart attack. Because, oh God, I saw that. I saw that injury for the first time, and but you know, getting onto but despite, you know, injuries, despite having, you know, sometimes, yes, stuff goes wrong, but other times stuff goes wrong, but it doesn't resolve in anyone getting hurt, and it looks awesome. Because, yes, obviously, something can go wrong, but, you know, it's a case of luck. It's a case of chance. Where, one person could jump off a ladder onto another person through a table. No one gets hurt. Or, what's an accident that no one got hurt from? Or someone can I don't know why nothing comes to mind, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, of course, I've definitely heard of
but
wrestling, but it is definitely it's a dangerous contact sport.
Oh yeah. There's a reason why, like, if you get like a wrestling DVD from like WWE, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, it says, "Do not try this at home."
Because they will probably get sued if you do.
Yeah. And there's also cases of where wrestlers, in order to look like they've been through a war, they will conceal a small blade, like probably in their wrist tape, or the referee will give it to them, and they'll cut themselves on their forehead. And so the blood will come, pouring down. This is a legitimate thing, and it's for the term called a crimson mask. Excuse me?
You're excused.
It's essentially more showmanship. That, a move, like someone essentially, putting your head, like grabbing you by the back of your head and, like hitting the top turnbuckle, like a handful of times. And then, the camera will pan over, or, whoever, was hidden, whoever was essentially using the top turnbuckle as a weapon, well, they'll try to get the crowd's attention. And then, when the camera cuts to, or pans to, the good guy who just got their head bashed in via the top turnbuckle, you'll see blood. And that's, they don't do it deep enough to where, well, they're not supposed to. But it's not deep enough to where, that man's just going to lose a ton of blood. It's just going to be, deep enough to where, it's a steady, it's a steady, just kind of.
That is something I've actually heard in wrestling quite a lot. Good guys and bad guys.
Yeah.
Why is that a thing?
Yeah. The good guy. So storytelling. Good guys are always called faces or a baby face. If you're more old-timey, you're called a face. If you're the bad guy, you're the heel. And essentially, heels are supposed to get booed, baby faces are supposed to get cheered. And, so for a good guy, you may see like 2 or 3 heels in a ring just beating down on one good guy. Or, the baby face, and then, and then, 2 other baby faces who are friends with babyface 1 will come down, even the odds. That's generally the gist of it. Or someone who the crowd thinks, that guy's a babyface. They come down, even the odds, and then suddenly, bam! They hit the babyface with some sort of move, and that's a heel turn, where a good guy turns into a bad guy. One of the most famous examples in WWE of a heel turn was in NXT. It was after one of the I think it was NXT Takeover. No, it wasn't Dallas. I don't remember. I remember the moment. I don't remember this particular show. But where a tag team called DIY, Do It Yourself, subtle, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, they had just wrestled a ladder match for the NXT tag team titles, and they had lost. They were on the stage where wrestlers would come out, LED board behind them, and Ciampa turned to Gargano and said, "This is not your moment. This is mine." And threw Gargano right at the LED board. And then, because wrestlers wear knee pads, he grabbed one of the knee pads, pulled it down to expose his knee, and just kneed Gargano straight in the mush. And no one saw it coming. It's all storytelling. And, these two were like the team. Actually, they are still the team for, if you think of like NXT, WWE's developmental system. They are probably
good. I thought you said
like if you think of Gargano, you will always NXT.
XT, not FT.
It's like next.
We do not support NFTs.
Next.
Here.
Think next.
We do not support
NEXT. Just remove the E.
Right. They don't support NFTs, do they?
Oh God, no.
Okay, good. And continue. I'm sorry. This is why I muted my mic.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, sometimes the best things that comes from a heel turn you don't see coming. Other times you see a heel turn coming, like in AEW, All Elite Wrestling, where during their final show of 2023, MJF has just lost the championship, and there was this big storyline around the devil, not Satan. Ironically, MJF did call himself the devil, but, MJF called himself the devil and wore a devil mask. And someone stole it and started attacking people who were almost friends of MJF and sort of not. Like, good, like enemies and friends, air quotes friends of MJF. And everyone said it's Adam Cole. Adam Cole had previously run out to help MJF. Unfortunately, he got a legitimate foot or ankle injury that requires crutches for him to move around. And so, they had to put, I think, the reveal on ice for a long time until this past December, where, before the Goons could attack either MJF or Adam Cole was in, lights go down, lights come back up, Adam's sitting in a steel chair, and he reveals MJF's devil mask. It's one of those things you see coming, but it's still good. It's still a good performance. It's still a good moment. And it's like, what's another good obvious thing? I don't know why I'm having trouble thinking of something that's good and obvious.
No problem. I only gave you like an hour to prepare.
Yeah.
Because
hour and a half.
plans this week.
But Yeah, but I know. Like with last year's Royal Rumble, when, Cody Rhodes, fresh off of, getting that pectoral fixed last January, he comes out and, everyone is cheering. It's obvious he was gonna come out at number 30 and win the Rumble, but, it was a good moment. It was obvious, but it was still good, because Cody could finish the friggin' story!
Oof.
Yeah, that... Ugh. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I'm trying not to get angry, but that is one of the things that really ticked me off about 2022.
You're
Or no,
in a safe
2023.
space. You're in a safe space. You can get angry.
I know. It pissed me off because the whole everything that... So Cody wins the Royal Rumble, goes to WrestleMania, faces Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. And everyone was saying that Cody Rhodes was going to win. Cody is going to win the titles from Roman. And that's not what fucking happened. Instead, Roman's cousin, Solo Sikoa, hit his finisher on Cody. Roman hits his own finisher, and then, 1, 2, 3, Cody Rhodes has not won the WWE Championship. And from WrestleMania onwards, if that's where Roman's story had ended, of, being the WWE champion, I think that would have been fine. But from, Roman's next pay-per-view appearance onward, you did not need the title. He did not need to be the champion in order to have the tag team title feud against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens when Roman teamed with Solo Sikoa. That did not need the WWE title. The Usos versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa did not need the WWE title involved. In SummerSlam, when it was Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, you did not need the title involved. LA Knight versus Roman Reigns did not require the title. And so, you do all this. Hey, kitty. A different kitty named Hercules has sensed my vibes were starting to get off, so he's come in to calm me down.
Aww.
But the only kind of match that I think you did need the title for was this past Royal Rumble with Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles versus Randy Orton versus LA Knight. Though that was the only match that needed the title. And everything else before that, from WrestleMania last year to this year's Royal Rumble, Roman did not need the title. Hi, Hercules. Coming to make sure I'm just, not about to blow a gasket. God. Yeah, and, now with this year, Cody Rhodes has won the Rumble again. So, maybe he can finish his story. Lol. And, God, you didn't need to do this. There was a much better and more natural way you could have done all this, WWE, and it would have been better. Cody wins the title, and because after after WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes went into a feud with a wrestler and former UFC fighter named Brock Lesnar. And I think if you had the WWE Championship on Cody during that feud, would have made it better. Because after the first match between Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes, because they had 3 of them, what was the point of the other 2 matches? I had watched Raw and SmackDown, the 2 shows WWE put out for the main roster, and it did not feel like it did not feel like you needed the other 2 matches without the championship. And yeah, it just dragged on for way too long. And because Roman was only going to appear for a handful of pay-per-views and only wrestle like once every couple of months, WWE needed, you can't always have someone come and wrestle once a month and they still have this big attraction. You also need a champion, like a world champion, who will fight at various pay-per-views. So instead of just putting the title on Cody and just having Cody wrestle at, for the title, they had to dig out a redesigned World Heavyweight Championship, which I'll admit the championship matches for it
it's a really, really good thing
were
trying to sleep.
The
that
actual
in the
matches
background?
for the world title were great. Dana.
Ah.
Sorry,
It's okay.
roommate. So the title, so essentially, you bring out this title, they slapped it on, I think, the correct person in Seth Rollins, and throughout from when did he win it? It's probably at the first Saudi Arabia show of 2023 to now. Seth Rollins has had amazing title defenses. One moment, please.
No problem. I guess we'll be right back. I'd say after these messages, but I don't have ads running on this channel. Not yet, anyway.
I'm back. I had to close my door.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So, Seth has had great defenses against guys like Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura. And, but when you were wrestling damn near every week in high stakes matches, sometimes for the titles, sometimes not for the title, your body will break down. And, Seth's got a lot of lingering issues, but it's nothing that, someone can say, okay, you can't, you need to see you in a handful of months. He probably should, but he's not. But that's a consequence of just not having your bigger world championship on almost like weekly shows. Because someone's got to put up the slack, and unfortunately, or to Seth's paycheck, fortunately, he had to do it. He had to, he won the world title and put that entire thing on his back. Oh, God. Bless that man's soul. And it's also a case of, one show has the world champion, the other doesn't. So, I'm trying to remember I'm trying to get this right. So I believe, is it Intercontinental? Or is it United States? Whatever. So
Honestly,
the mid-card
if we had a
title
bigger audience,
now has to
then
be...
they'd be correcting you in the comments.
Yeah. But, your mid-card title, which I believe for SmackDown is the Intercontinental title, that now becomes the only belt that shows up regularly to the show, along with the tag team titles. Instead of, your world title also, like, that's a thing I've always hated, is when, you have a part-time world champion. But, it is what it is. I'm not the freaking booker. Wish I was. I'm legitimately getting angry. Oh, God.
Yeah, sometimes the things we love infuriate us, so...
I'm gonna switch gears so I don't end up screaming and blowing out my microphone.
Fair enough.
But,
I've heard that there
when
are
it comes...
famous families in wrestling, too.
Yes. There are the Anawati family. Bunch of, the phrase "there is more than one." What was the thing that Cody always said? There's more than one royal. Oh God! Because in AEW, Cody's theme said wrestling has more than one royal family, and one of the biggest kind of rivalries, air quotes rivalries, when it comes to wrestling families was a Flair, like your Ric Flair versus the Rhodes. So you would see Ric Flair, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, woo, versus the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. What? Dining with kings and queens, sleeping in alleys, eating pork and beans. The American man. And you would have, Cody, and then, their sons or their daughters would, may also get into the business, like Cody Rhodes from Dusty, or Dustin Rhodes, Cody's brother, in, for Dusty. And, some say that, in wrestling, if you're a part of a wrestling family, you're more than likely going to be a nepotism hire if that, mother or father were, were, part of booking or part of management. Cody Rhodes, this is true. He was a nepotism hire because of Dusty Rhodes. But it's not just Flair and Rhodes. There's the legendary Hart family, H-A-R-T, Hart, with Stu Hart, the God, that entire family, because the guys were expected to become wrestlers, and the women were expected to marry wrestlers. This is a legitimate thing that was said in an interview. I don't remember which Hart. Might have been Brett, but yeah. And you have the legendary Bret the Hitman Hart, multiple time world champion, one of the literally the best of the best when it comes to smart wrestling. You have Owen Hart, one of the greatest what ifs ever. And like a what if, and unfortunately a tragic tale for Owen, because he was always in the mid card, like lower to mid card. He very rarely got to go after kind of the bigger WWE championship when he was in WWE. But he did what he could. There's the legendary Jim the Anvil Neidhart, who was a great tag team wrestler with both Bret and Owen. There's Tyson Kidd, who, God rest his soul, fucking got a career-ending injury by accident, and who married Natalia Neidhart, who has broken multiple world records in wrestling. And it's multiple generations, and if someone from a generation doesn't want to wrestle, it's okay. Like I can't even name Orton's Cowboy Bob Orton and his son Randy Orton. A lot of people you see who are on top could be someone from a royal wrestling royal family, or someone who worked up from nothing. And I'm not even going to try to get into the Von Erichs, because that is just a legendary family, but it's also struck with just, I'm willing to say, a curse or bad luck. Oh god. and there's oh god, what was his? There's IRS. I don't remember his real name. If I asked Will, he'd probably be able to tell me, but there's IRS, then his sons, Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt. And, Bray, God rest his soul, was one of the most creative motherfuckers ever. Like, this man had all these stories that, no one really could. It's not like no one understood them. It's more of a case of, it was more of a case of that, this man had so much creativity. He needed someone to rein him in. Yeah, and yeah. When it comes to, ironically, when it comes to wrestlers having families, more than likely, if you have a child and you're a male wrestler, you're gonna have a daughter. And it's jokingly called the wrestler's curse, where, you know, your first child or two children will be a female, will be a girl. And in an interview, Adam Copeland, aka Edge, you know, when he had his daughter, said, "Oh, this is that feeling that fathers have of, I can kill someone. I will kill someone for her. If, you know, someone messes with her." Yeah, it's...
This is where they understand the overprotective dad stereotype.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes... Like, I have always said, do not try to pick a fight with wrestlers. All these moves, they make it look like they hurt, or if you're Japan Strong style, it hurts. And I have seen someone, because there's the ring, there's the area outside of there's ringside, aka just the area around the ring, the barricade, and then where the audience is. The audience, while a wrestling show is going on, is not supposed to jump the barricade, because if you do that, and try to mess up a match, more than likely you're gonna get fucking hurt. Because I have seen instances of fans getting into the ring and then suddenly trying to mess up something, and a wrestler just BAM! Just punches them square in the mouth. Because you're attacking someone. You're being attacked. Legitimately being attacked. And I, like, a wrestler named Eddie Guerrero, during a ladder match with Rob Van Dam, had this happen. Yeah?
Can I have this sheet off your bed?
I'm currently doing something.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were talking. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's fine,
take a
Nana.
short break.
Sorry, my grandmother.
It's okay. Take a short break. I don't know how
it's
much
fine.
longer this is gonna take. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way.
Yeah. So, 10 minutes? Sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Ish?
Ish.
5-10 minutes? Okay.
Oh. Wow, we're learning so much about wrestling today. I think now's a good time to take a look at the chat. Hello, DJ. Basically, modern day Roman gladiators. I guess. I'll have to bring this up with Travis once he gets back. Without being mauled by lions, yeah. Face and heel. Yeah. I actually will be right back, too.
I'm back. I got doggo. Sorry, everyone who heard that. Hello? Yep, I'm back.
Okay, we are officially back. So where were we?
About why people, like us civilians, shouldn't jump the barricade. Cause you can just Google or YouTube just wrestling fans jumping barricade. And you will see instances of just a normal person jumping the barricade, getting to the ring, or trying to mess with the wrestlers, and wrestlers end up beating, trying to teach this poor person a lesson before security can drag him away. And one of the main things is, you protect your opponent, you protect the referee, and you just protect the people you are with. Because normally, no one person can, it takes two to tango. Or, unless you're willing to be a little silly, because normally it's two people wrestling together. There have been instances, and I guarantee you will, if you are listening to this or watching this, either live or or the VOD, there have been invisible wrestlers wrestling people. And it's not an actual invisible person, it's just like it's like the Invisible Man, essentially, where a wrestler will, air quotes, wrestle a match against an invisible person when really they're, it's like they have to do a suplex to nobody, or they have to act like they're getting punched and thrown out of the ring, and no one's doing it to them, but apparently it's a person that only maybe the wrestler can see, or maybe no one can see, and it's essentially a comedy match. Also, I have seen an entire wrestling match, which was the Invisible Man versus the Invisible Stan. The only person who could see the two was the referee.
Now I'm suddenly reminded of,
and it was amazing.
Of that one
It was
scene
amazing.
from SpongeBob.
Basically, it's that, except, there's no wedgie. Or if there is a wedgie, it's more than likely the wrestler doing it to themselves. And there's this company in Japan called DDT. Oh my god, the stuff they have done. Because there is like the legendary Kenny Omega, best bout machine ever, wrestles a 7 or 8-year-old girl with the parents' permission. Or Kota Ibushi wrestles a blow-up doll. It, again, wrestling is silly, and it's amazing. No.
Oh, that would have been great.
However, even if she, you watch it, it's still amazing. Because it's essentially for laughs. And, again, that's what wrestling is trying to do. Wrestling is always trying to get a reaction out of people. If it's a laugh, if it's, babyface getting cheered, heel getting booed, if it's, just, someone who can get, like, in Canada, where you go, Olé! Olé! If you get that, you always want a reaction, because there's nothing worse in wrestling than a quiet crowd. Because if you've lost the crowd, good luck trying to get them back. Again, storytelling. If no one's interested in your story, Well, yeah.
Tough shit.
Yeah. And also, like, you will see wrestlers always try to make sure their attire, their clothing, their wrestling attire looks, can fit them. But also, you will see sometimes that it's trying to emulate anime or a TV show or something. And, it's obviously there's a famous example of at WrestleMania 30 something. I don't remember which one. I can look it up, but I'm not. I want to say 32. Yeah, WrestleMania 32, where 3 wrestlers who call themselves the New Day came out in Dragon Ball Z inspired armor. Like the Saiyan armor you see Vegeta wear early in the series. Early in Dragon Ball Z. There's also legendary Best Bout Machine Kenny Omega, who comes out in various, kind of anime-inspired tires, because he spent a good portion of his career in Japan, obviously anime, but his main thing is Sephiroth, the One-Winged Angel, which ironically is also the name of his finishing move, the One-Winged Angel. But it's not just the guys, it's also the girls, where you would see Charlotte Flair. Half of her robe is black for SummerSlam as a reference to Venom. Or you would see her go as... Oh god. 101 Dalmatians. What was her name?
Whose name?
No, was it 101 Dalmatians? Yeah, I think so. 101 Dalmatians, she was trying to... I want a Dalmatian coat, or whatever.
Cruella de Vil.
It was her, the Cruella de Vil. You would see Charlotte Flair as Cruella de Vil inspired attire, or Becky Lynch going as the Scarlet Witch. Because, they pay, I don't know how much money, because I don't Google it, to get these custom stuff printed, or just made and sewn together to look like all the Disney villains or heroes, or some from an anime, or Cassie Cage, or Casey from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I think that's one of the better things about wrestling, when you have they're not afraid to be yeah, I like these things that are considered nerdy, or you see pop culture through the attires, through the clothing. Hi, Duke. Dog.
Aww.
Yeah. Don't worry, Duke. I'm not getting angry. Yeah.
Now he's not.
Excuse me. Yeah. Obviously, pop culture is things of nerdom and geekdom, and, comic books, anime, cartoons, TV shows. And it's always good to see wrestling and wrestlers embrace something like that when it comes to, just who they are. Or, you see like a niche thing that, it's like, I didn't think anyone else liked this niche thing, and then, you see it in wrestling. Rey Mysterio, one of the greatest luchadors ever. When it comes to big matches, he will don various different masks and outfits that reference like Batman or Spider-Man or various superheroes or Magneto or villains. And, it's always, I've always said, it's always interesting to see what comes next, because you never know. God, this may be a short one, because I am running out of fuel.
It's okay.
Yeah. But overall, wrestling has something for everyone. If you don't like this high-flying, high acrobatics style, try maybe more of this round-based technical, someone's trying to tie another person in a knot. And, make them tap out because of the pain. If you don't like the technical style, try something else. And if you don't like what you're seeing, that's always good, because someone else is probably going to like it. I will say, if you like certain no things in wrestling, because like everything that's existed through the 1900s, wrestling has its problematic things. There's something for everyone. And if wrestling is not for you, okay.
Well, even so, thank you for teaching us about the wonderful world of wrestling.
Yeah, and there's probably, like, Will probably watch this, and just be like, there's so many things.
Out the details.
Oh, yeah, because wrestling is just diverse, it's vast, and they're, like, to cram it all into 2 hours is impossible. Like, the history of the Lucha Libre mask, which are into, like, Incas and Mayans, and they're kind of like tribal masks where, someone put the head of a mask that is the head of a jaguar on, and suddenly it's that spiritualism that you see. It's like someone now has the spirit of the jaguar and can do all these crazy things.
I see.
Or or the poison mist wrestler spit out. That has a long history in of itself. But that's for another time.
All right then. But thank you for coming here today to explain wrestling to me.
It's not a problem. Obviously, wrestling is one of my favorite things, and that I'm passionate about it.
It's something I've seen, like, a couple of people
in passing, but you
are interested in.
Yeah.
There's you, there's Will, even Voice is into wrestling to an extent, but he's more of a sports guy. Just in general. But then again, that sport is usually football.
Yeah.
And I cannot understand that sport no matter how hard I try.
Me neither.
Who knows? Maybe I'll have him on one day.
Maybe.
Alright, in that case, we'll see you all next week, where we'll get to chapter 1 of the season 3 of the Killing School campaign. For real this time.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thanks for having me on,